test this. There we go. Can you hear me? Is there anybody in there? It's not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home? Oh, well, that... Hold on. Sorry, just realized how bad that camera is. I need the webcam. This is gonna get funky. Sorry, guys. May switch that. Oh, actually, you know what? You guys won't see it. Never mind. I forgot. I can do this stuff off. I am going to apologize right now because y'all are seeing my feet. They is ugly feet. They match the body. Let's put it that way. There we go. That's better. Much better. Okay. So, the reason you're looking at my feet, and the reason you hopefully notice we're not in the studio. We're in the only place that can make my studio look clean, which is my basement. My kids regularly destroy this, but it's the only place I have space enough to stretch canvas. And that's what we're doing tonight. Teaching you guys some of the fun little nonsense that goes into this whole mess. You know, it's not just about painting pretty pictures. It's about, for me especially, I kind of look at the whole process as part of it. You know, like I've used store-bought canvases when I've been in bind, but I like to, even though I might use a standard, like a standard size, I still like having the choice. I hope this isn't too loud. I'm on my headset, so we'll adjust a little bit. I don't know if that adjusts the sound on your guys' end or mine, or what. And you know what? I gotta do something first. Because ain't no way I will get through this without sound in my ears. So let's get into here. I did try, I don't know if it actually popped in here or not, for like the half a minute that I tried to do it. I mean, I tried for a while actually to get something up here while I was on vacation. I was trying to do a drawing thing. Didn't work very well. I did record some video. When I tried to upload it, our internet connection was so dodgy at that place, it didn't work at all. So, what my plan is, yeah, we'll just go the whole way. We'll just shuffle. Where's my damn shuffling? Okay, there we go. I might record another one, and then... Oh, are you kidding me? Hold on. Before I get in trouble. I don't know why that's not doing the audio through there. Audio. Okay, yeah, I should be going through my headset. Make sure it's all plugged in properly. I had that issue earlier. Mic is into mic, okay, okay. Not like mic is into mic, I mean, it's still coming through that way. Shite! Alright, let's try this real quick. Minimize. Right here. I get confused with Windows still. Like I've tried to get better with them, but okay, choose output. Let's try this, maybe that'll work. That should be the right one. Nope. Oh, fungal. So for some reason that's not gonna work. Shit. Alright. Well, I guess I'm gonna try to get through this without music. God damn it. It's not something I prefer to do. Maybe I'll put it back. It's too late now. I already closed out the whole thing. Who gives a shit? Alright. Alright, there we go. So. Okay, good. Nice to see I'm nice and alone too while I'm doing this. Alright. So anyway, let's think cat food. What the hell is cat food doing on there? Cats aren't even allowed down here. I don't know how much you guys can see. You can't see up here. It doesn't really matter. What size canvas is this? 24 by 30. That's a good size too. I like that. Post that back in there. When I've got multiple canvases ready to go, and I apologize if that popped in somebody's ears because that was loud in mine, for God's sakes. I try to make as much use of this as I can. I'm getting a little low on canvas. It's hopefully not going to be a big issue. I mean, here's 2 here. I got another 1 waiting. Actually, I have another 2 waiting. So I've got stuff to go for the next while. I got a lot of small canvases here too that I can screw around with. So I just like to try to figure out if I can to get the most out of it. Like that won't go that way. I don't know if you guys can see it, right? You can't really see that. It's hitting the edge. You got to leave at least a little space. But that works pretty well there. I like to try to tug it a little. Make sure. I always like a lot of extra on my back. That's just me. If I can get it, the more I can get, the better I am. And I think I'm going to have a dead spot, because I don't think there's much I can do about that. I still have some like leftover scraps over there, which should be able to do 1 or 2 of these as well. Because they won't go. Let me just see. I don't think they'll do like this without touching the edge. Yeah, one of them ended up cut. So, looks like we're getting 4 out of this stretch. Is there a way I can... Nah, there's not really a way I can wind that out so you guys can see exactly how these are kind of laid out here. They will stink of my feet. That's alright. But, so that's how we're going to lay it out. Now you'll watch as I do this that I'm going to screw this up a couple times. Something will move a little bit the wrong way as I'm sitting here down on this. If you can do this on a table, God bless you. Do it. Save your knees. Mine are just shit because I've never had a space where I could really lay out a significant size amount of canvas, you know, to do this stuff with. So, I mean, I've been crawling around on my knees since college for this. And it's just the way it is now. Shit, I don't even know if I could deal with it if I had like a nice big space with a huge freaking work table. You know? Like I wouldn't even know what to do. The canvas we're working with, move that in a little bit because this looks like it might have gotten a little, yeah, that'll be better. One of my edges is a little off or something, so, oh, no, it shouldn't be though, because those are both the hard edges, so, alright, you know, we're going to stick with it back down here. I'll cut that big chunk out of the middle, I don't mind that too much. Shit, what the hell was I just saying? This is why I need people who are regularly watching me so you guys can tell me what the hell I just said. I'm very scatterbrained. Always have been. And like I said, it got worse after I went cuckoo. Oh, I love that smooth cut. That's like better than fucking, like when you're doing Christmas presents or something, you know, and you got like the wrapping paper does it, and you're like, ah, it's even better when it's canvas, dude. Ah, I swear to God. I wish there was somebody here watching this bullshit. By the way, I am getting bonus points if I make it through the night here without cutting my goddamn cord. Alright? And nobody's here watching it. I'll make that claim again in a little bit. Let's see what we need here. Alright, so I probably should have started with some of the basic stuff that you need. Obviously, scissors. Staple gun. And I use canvas pliers now. I used to just use my bare hands. And, you know, using the leverage of the canvas pulling over, each other. My tendonitis makes it so I can't do that anymore. It's too hard on my hands. We will get to the point of the brush and the gesso. Or if you're fancy pants, you can use like they do, like rabbit oil. And I know I have some friends that would be like, "What the fuck," But if you're talking old school, like the way they used to prime canvas, they made shit out of rabbit oil, so they killed your bunnies. All right. Good. Looks pretty good. I try to make sure it's at least, like I said, I'll go over, but I like to make sure it's at least as balanced as it can get. Oh, one other thing I forgot to do. I like to have, if I can, and I can because I'm right in my basement with my only video games, a box. Doesn't matter what kind. Box, book works as well. Just check your right angles. That's all. Usually you hit 2, you're right, but I do it anyway on all of them just because I'm an asshole. No, because it's a smart thing to do. I mean, it really is. And now, I don't like stapling my canvases permanently like this. But, see, years and years ago, companies... Oh, fuck, I fucked that one up. That's a little better. Companies would, like Utrecht, Pearl, when I used to go downtown to get them, they'd have these little jobbies, like in a bucket, just hanging around near the canvas. And I would grab those things by the goddamn handful. What they're there for is, as your canvas goes through time, it's going to loosen. And those are there to give it a little tap, expand it out, stretch it again, basically. However, nowadays, like, they all charge like $5 for like 12 of them. Something stupid. So I figure it's art history's problem. They could pry the few nails out. They can do what they need to. Now here I try to aim, and I don't do perfect. I never do perfect for anything. I certainly don't do dude perfect. I try to aim towards the middle, and this I will still do with my hands if I can. Sometimes I get a little close with the canvas and then I have to break out the pliers. And I try to go straight across, and even if I'm not perfect... Uh-oh. What am I stuck on? Okay, that was a bad fire, so take that out. Alright. Down here as well. Now this is, for some reason, it's always the shorter side. I feel like I always fuck up. I don't know why that is. Maybe because I'm always closer to it or something. I end up, so I misjudge it. But alright. Oh, and later we will need gesso and a brush. A big old brush if you can get it. Makes it easier. Oh, I forgot to mention the cotton duck. The canvas we're using is number 10. It's pretty much medium. I tried to get heavier, but I screwed up at one point, and I ended up accidentally ordering, like, I think there's some of it back here somewhere. Like crazy paper thin, like, canvas. And that was awful. It's the worst thing I ever did. I bought like $60 worth of the shit. I had no use for it. Literally, it was like almost elastic in nature. I Should break out the pliers before I start screwing up my hands. God, this would be so much better with music, but I can't do it because I don't want to get copywritten stuffs. Even on the classical shit. Alright. I'm trying to stay in a nice spot for the camera, so. I have a thing down here. You can see it's an old bed sheet. That's important later. Right now it doesn't matter. I just put it out ahead of time. I mean, this is already riveting enough. I didn't want you guys to have to see me spread it out and rework it again. I mean, I'm going to have to rework it, so. Tough titties. Looks still good. Try to look to get the staples, you know, an inch and a half away from each other. Especially for me, I put my canvases under some stress. You know, the weight of my paint is pretty intense. So, more points of tug. You know what I mean? Did we get that side yet? Shit. Alright, I didn't cut my ear off yet. But no, here we go. Get the other side. And I like to do this too. This is going to be rough, dude, with these headphones. Alright. What I like to do is I like to, like, crisscross each other, you know what I mean? How effective is it? I don't know. You know, there's some people I've seen just that they'll start one side and they'll do the other side and then they'll go to the, you know, the short ends or whatever. I just don't think that's. I just think that you're stretching it. You want it going, you know, kind of evenly across. Now I say that, and I'm also terrible about keeping them straight across the back. But really, once they're along the back like this, I feel like the canvas itself, it's not going to be too concerned about it. You know what I mean? Like, because it's pulling over the edges. Once we start gessoing, the gesso is going to make it a lot tighter, get rid of some of these ugly ass wrinkles for us. You know. Chicks dig it. What can I say? I'll say this regarding my vacation. Like I said, the internet sucked. I'm a little disappointed because I had to pay $15 a day for the internet access for my room with my family, and we all had internet issues throughout most of the time. Sophia was like the least affected by it because she only had her Kindle that was sometimes getting pulled offline, but my phone and this computer especially were just getting ripped off left and right. Like, we also never got to be able to use our Chromecast, so my wife and I had intended to watch Netflix, you know, keep going with our Luke Cage, and so we're only on episode 3 now of Luke Cage. I'm a little disappointed. I'd hoped to be at like, you know, 7 or 8 at this point, but que sera, sera. Just means the candy lasts a little longer, right? Damn, that's a good series. I know I'm talking to nobody, but damn, man. Maybe someone will watch it in the back time and they'll go, hey, how do you stretch canvas? And I'll go, that's how you stretch canvas. We get a hit out here, but Sam and Dave. They're the only ones who know how to play the blues. I can play the blues myself. This old staple gun is an old friend of mine, though, too. Like I said, I really do look at the whole process of creating the canvas as part of like almost the spiritual end of it. Like, you know, and I'm not trying to sound all hippy dippy. It's just that like my views on my art, even when I'm doing a commission. Um, Actually, this canvas will be for a commission. I break them in my hand sometimes too. Sorry. I know it's just an old habit still. I still like to feel it under my can. Yeah, I like to know how tight it is. I can feel it that better that way. Anyway, um, you know, even if it's a commission, so it's a little bit separated from me. The commission's still my brushstroke. It's still my vision of whatever they're commissioning me to do. Be it, you know, like recently I've done a couple of my friends' dogs. Um, this one, my friend Jeff has commissioned me to do his house and barn. It's gonna be interesting because they're actually like across the street from each other, so I'm not exactly sure I'm planning this out. We're going to have to work on this. I think I look at some of his pictures he sent me. I might load the drawing one up tomorrow just so I have some time to look at this. And figure out my plan of attack. I mean, I got 5 over there. I got 5 over here. Right. Okay. Yeah. Just make sure where I'm at. Well, that's another one. I get bonus points if I don't staple my headset to my canvas. Alright, so if I don't cut the cord, you guys have to convince someone else to follow me. How about that? I'll keep looking to see if anybody actually comes up here as a follower or as a viewer. Or if you're on Facebook or something and you came over, I don't know whether I'd be able to see you or not as a viewer, but if you're viewing from some alternate location like that, you gotta sign up for Twitch and follow me. If I don't do this stuff. How about that? I think that's a fair deal. Okay. Going back to my hippy dippy stuff. Even though, again, it's going to be a little distance between myself and the subject matter on this point. It's not something I'm pulling out and focusing on my entire own wishes. The reality of it is I'm still making a lot of artistic choices in something like that. I'm still running the game. So, with the exception of that one painting. I'll bring that up, but anyway. So this is part of it. This is, to me, it's like when I talk about cleaning my brushes and stuff, especially new brushes. Like beating them into submission. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. I didn't do this side. That's why I screwed up. That's alright. That's not too much of a screw up. Just gotta make sure I do it right next time. I did 7 across, and I have only 5 on this side. Anyway. Get your ass over there. It's not that I believe in inanimate objects have souls or anything like that, but it sort of makes a nice creative head game to believe they do, or pretend they do. That makes sense. Like, I've always been kind of a guy that stuff needs to be right for me to work effectively. I'm not talking about a job. I'm talking about this, my big W work. Okay, because I don't consider shitty office I go to be work. It's torture. It's a distraction at this point. I consider my work the stuff that hopefully outlives me, goes beyond me. And so to imagine for at least a few moments that this canvas and I, here in this moment, as I'm putting it together, I'm giving it birth, It's getting life right now. You know, it's in the womb. You know. And it's like that it's a nice little mind game. It makes it so that if something feels a little off, at least I can say the canvas is mine. You know what I mean? That's why I like stretching them. Like I said, I've used pre-bought when I've had to. Um, like, I will never, ever, ever stretch an oval canvas. Fuck that shit. I have no idea how to do it. Not even going to attempt it. It would probably take too goddamn long to learn how to stretch it, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm fell a little out. And I've only have the intention to ever do, like, I have one oval canvas sitting there, and all I'm doing is another study of the one I've already done. And that's it. I don't intend to do them again. They're nice experiences, but Jesus, they are a pain in the balls to deal with. I mean, you guys have seen, hopefully at this point, if you've been paying attention, even though there's nobody here. Yeah, this is what happens when I don't get on here every week. You know, make sure am I on the right count? I just want to double check everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, should be 9. Yeah. Thought I counted 10 for a second. I was like, wait. That wouldn't make any sense. Okay. But the I think this round I'm going to go 2 on each of these sides, though. And then we'll wrap it up in the corners a little bit, and then we'll go back. You know, but you've seen that, like, the way I do things, you know, my measuring out of the little grid and everything to make sure that I'm at least pretty close to what I'm working off of. You know, as my starting point. But with an oval, like, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly where your halfway points are on everything, and you know, you don't have anything else as a point of reference, so it's kind of shitty. For that starting point, even, and then making sure it's balanced properly in the easel and all that. I mean, when I did the study of Saint Michael defeating the devil, I mean, it was an interesting thing to do. Do not get me wrong. I'm glad I've done it. I'm glad I'm going to do it again for one more painting, because that one I did, or the one I'm going to do, I haven't decided yet because it's a matter of which one's better. I'm donating to a charitable organization that a friend of mine does. And I'm not going to get into specifics because, again, I don't want to. So I want it to be a surprise should he ever stumble upon these. Maybe he won't be 100% sure it's him. But it's a piece of artwork that, or I should say, it's a subject matter that he finds kind of personally important. And as such, I want to donate it to him to do with as he sees fit. Be it keep it as a source of inspiration, you know, or auction it off to raise money for the organization. You know, whatever he wants. It's his deal. That sounds silly, doesn't it? I guess sometimes when I say, oh, I'm going to give it to this person for whatever they want to deal with. Of course they're going to do whatever the hell they want with it. Giving it to them. It's just you hope that, you know, whoever you're giving it to is going to be an asshole and like destroy it, you know. But he wants to destroy it, let him destroy it. If it gives him some catharsis, that's fine too. I don't think he would, because I think last time I saw him, was a couple of years ago, um, and he talked about how he still had a piece that, like, I mean, it was a drawing. I did in Art 1 that he asked if he could have it, and I said, sure, go ahead. You know, it was something I didn't really give a shit about, because it was like the assignment was to do something in Photoshop. So it was like I did the drawing as a step towards getting in Photoshop to do the practice there, and so I wasn't really putting my best shit forward, I guess, you know. And but he said he kept it. He said he still had it. So that was, like I said, that was, God. Let me think here. I think it was before my wife and I met. So I mean, we're talking that it was probably. That doesn't feel right. Sorry. I like these corners to be sort of neat looking if I can. I'm not good at them. Still not. Never have been. That's where I get the messiest. Gonna give this one more because I'm definitely closer over there than I am over here. This is where I get screwed up. Like I said, I always do that. But yeah, so like I said, it was only probably, you know, 4 years later, 5 years later, maybe. But hey, maybe still got it. I don't know. If so, it's probably really terrible to look at. I don't apologize right now. I'm probably terribly embarrassed by it. It's probably like bad Jim Lee copy. I mean, look, if I draw my comic book style, it's still very Jim Lee-like, but it's still, at least now it has a little bit of me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel 100% like I'm copying Jim. Like, you could look at it and go, oh, well, he's inspired by Jim Lee, but he's not trying to be Jim Lee. Whereas in high school, I was trying to be Jim Lee. This is going to sound bad. Hopefully it doesn't spread it over to him. I love Jim. I love his work to death. Please do not get that mistaken. But at least when it came to camera work or storytelling end of it, I think I was a little better than he is. Jim does great dynamic stuff. Don't ever get me wrong on that. His work is incredibly fluid. It's beautiful to look at. But I think sometimes he goes too much for the dynamics and ignores the story. Alright, so hope I'm showing it to the right camera. There we go. Nice little piece. I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on. I mean, it's a little thuddy. Okay? And that's okay now. It's going to sound thud. Now the trick is I'm going to have to take these headphones off because I got to find somewhere to put it while I work on the other ones. I need more space here. So that's why I got the big one out of the way. So hold on for a sec. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. I want to make sure it's not getting punctured either. Where can I put it? Where it's safe? What do you say we get our little one out of the way? I honestly don't remember how big this one is. I think this is the... Or is this the really... This is the really tiny one, right? So this must be... That must be 16 by 20. It's gotta be. I got a bunch of those. I just have to pay attention. Because I almost did the wrong side. A lot of times, with, like, say, if you got these Fredericks. Alright, I'm just grabbing a random one to show you guys. There's a lip on both sides. I like those. I've gotten into, on occasion, using the, what are they, Masterpiece, I think is what they're called. Stretchers, as opposed to Frederick. They have a very specific lip side, again, so, you know, preference, I guess. I have gotten to like the idea of having a little more of a lip than what these ones are. Just brings the canvas off, makes it bounce back at me a little better. You know, it's a little more responsive. That's a good word. Culmination. Sorry. I don't know why that picked up in my head like that. I make weird associations. I'm sure I'm not alone in that, but I make really weird ones. Like, my wife and I were driving today. Now, while we were away on vacation, at some point, my daughter said to me, my youngest, said something. She was remembering, and not that she remembers it, but she remembers us telling stories about it all the time. Where, when my oldest child still was here, living with us, she had a friend named Julie who would come over. And sometimes Julie would eat with us, sometimes she wouldn't. But when she did eat with us, Sophia, having all the tact and class of her father, would look at my wife, as Julie is probably a foot away from her, and say, "Why that girl here?" Okay, you know I should do it before I check this. I should check my staples. Good thing I did. Alright, hold on one more. I gotta grab staples. Still got the 0 followers, the 0 viewers. I have to update on Twitch. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten anybody. Never did that. I don't really do that. But anyway, I mean, it's just because I've been a loser and I didn't come on last week like I should. Should have found a way, but gone to a Starbucks and just sat here and jabbered on. But the thing was, as Sophia was remembering that, you know, saying how she would say that to Allie's friend, she couldn't remember the name, and I couldn't remember the name. I haven't seen Julie since Allie graduated high school, actually a little bit before. So that was a while before the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So my memory's gone to shit. So I'm like, what is her name? What is her name? I can't remember who Sophia used to say this about. And I didn't want to send it to Allie. Who was your friend that Sophia used to ask about? So I just sort of let it go. And then today, we were driving, doesn't matter where, I think it was to the bank, but it doesn't matter. And, okay, yeah, it is live. Okay, just making sure I don't screw anything up. Cool, just make sure that's up to date. And, so, we're driving, and the song, Bad Reputation from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts came on. And maybe one verse in, something like that. And I just go, Julie! My wife goes, what? And I was like, that was her name. And she's sitting there going, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, Sophia and I were in line, and she, and she was talking about, when she'd say, why that girl here? And I couldn't remember her name. I was like, and it's Julie. And she goes, okay. And I said, and the reason I remembered that, here's where it gets fucking weird. The reason I remember that is because this song came on one time when Allie and I were driving, and we were at a light, and her friend Kira and her mother were in the car next to us watching us as I was like, I don't give a damn about my reputation. Right? I was all jamming out and shit, and they pull up next to us, and they were laughing their ass off at us. And Allie kind of looked a little embarrassed, and so naturally I went bigger. So why it took me until I remember that specific incident with other people entirely to get Julie's name, I have no fucking clue. But it took that song to remind me of another person to remember her name. My brain is a fucked up place to be. Now that I've been distracted on that again, there was something else I was going to say earlier, which is the one nice thing I can say about my vacation, though, is we got a lot of good potential paintings. I took some really nice shots, I think, out of Luray. They got to be touched up a little, just to brighten them up. Like adjust them a little in Photoshop just to get the color to pop a little more. But on a compositional level, I think they're pretty cool. So I'm excited. 'Cause I really did want to kind of get that. I like the... If you didn't see my view of Luray Caverns, it is on my Facebook page. I'll type it in there in a second, but it's facebook.com/Brian Coates Paintings. Brian Coates Paintings. It's also on the Society 6 store. So that's society6.com/Menaceart. Buy a print. Buy a sticker. I don't give a fuck. Just something. I need some money. I'm not kidding. There's stuff going on personally that I'll go into later. But anyway, the Luray Caverns painting, when I did it, when I finished that one up, which is before I even started streaming, I think even on Facebook. I don't think I streamed it there. I do the daily updates and let people see what was going on, but I didn't stream it. I don't think I did. But it was a painting that really, truly felt like mine. And what I mean by that is that, obviously I have a huge influence by one Mr. Vincent van Gogh. Say it properly. The thing is, I have a lot of other influences. And when I paint, more so than I think other people would, I see all these guys together, I see Van Gogh. I see Monet. I see Millet. I see them all kind of mixing and mangling together. Mangling's a good term for that, actually. That's what I do. And I see them all kind of, like I said, hanging out together. But the thing is, on a subject matter, certainly, none of them ever did a cave painting. And so, to be in that moment, to do that painting, it's like, okay, I have all their influences from their brushstroke and their ideas in color. And all the stuff that led me to those guys, on a mental level. Well, get your ass down there, piece of shit. Sorry, that one's not going down very well. But the thing is, with that specific piece, while I have their knowledge that I can kind of fall on, none of them ever did anything like that. They never did. You know, there's no Monet cave paintings. Closest you could come is maybe like, you know, damn it, what's the structure? The archway, the rocks. Fuck. Brain goes bad again. Names and dates and shit. But there's not a lot. There's nothing that you can really point to. I mean, if anybody can, God, please do. I'd love to see it. But there's nothing you can really point to that I'm aware of. I like to think that I've forgotten more about art history than people usually intend to know. That is like that. That's like that painting. And there was other shit going on in that painting. Like I said, it was you know, third one after my breakdown. So I was talking a lot about the, you know, coming from light into, darkness into light, the way it's designed and set up. And there's contrasting complementary colors there to, again, talk about duality. So, I mean, I have higher concepts behind it as well. And on top of everything else, one thing that's always fascinated me, I've always been fascinated by primitive artwork. That is to say, not to go like, oh, I like the, you know, say like the bullshit stuff that like Picasso would talk about, like with African art or something like that. It's like, that's not what I'm talking about, because I don't consider that primitive. These societies at this point may live in a more naturalistic style, but I don't consider them primitive. I'm talking, you know, Venus of Ollendorf and, you know, cave paintings and shit. That stuff fascinates me. If you ever see a Cave Forgotten Dreams, that's a fucking amazing documentary. And but the thing is, I did a cave painting. You know, it's kind of funny, and it's just I found a little bit of, like I said, something that's truly in here for me there. So I want to do at least a series of them. And so I got enough photos. I think I can do a couple of series of them. You know, a couple paintings and do a nice little series. Are you ready? That's actually a little tighter, right? That's good. Smaller ones are always used to get the big, nice. Boom. What do you hear? Freaking once we gesso it, it's like a snare drum. It's like, it's really cool. So I got a nice bunch of those. We were at Busch Gardens, and I got some good shots there. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I got a couple there that I'm going to use. Even some animal shots, I think, might end up being used. You know, it's like, hey, I got into this thing where I've been painting animals, so I just paint animals. See, I got these little dabbers in there, and you know what? Shit, one popped out. I don't even know what they're called. These ones are plastic because they came with an old pre-bought canvas. And Frederick always sends plastic ones. But we can still kind of check our right angles. Looks like we're pretty good. I don't see any issues. What do we got? 20 by 30 canvas. That's a nice little size there. Wait. That can't be right. This says 30. But what fucking size is this? That says 24. Somebody fucking lied to me. Son of a bitch, they did. Look at that. That says 30, clear as day, right here. 30. 3-0. But that most certainly is not 30 because this is 30. Alright, 20 by 24 then, which is also a nice size canvas. Nice little portrait size, you know. It won't be a portrait, I'm sure. I don't really intend on torturing anybody right now to sit through that. Some things we were joking about at Busch Gardens, because they had, yeah, people do caricatures and shit. And make sure we're on the right angles for this, so I get this, so I can just follow that line straight down. You know what I mean? But they have people, you know, do the caricatures, but they also have people do more serious portraits, you know, more lifelike, quote unquote. And so my wife and I were joking. I'm like, oh, I could do that here. I said, they just have to sit here for, you know, ever. I said, your whole day at the park is going to be spent with me. Don't ever go anywhere. I'm so slow now that there we go. That's good. It's pretty good. Shit, though. I'm gonna have to. I'll just cut 2 scraps. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just there's a lot, like not a lot, but there's enough left over that makes me like, eh. I got a little off on that, I think, but that shouldn't be too bad. This is where the pliers might come in handy because it's gonna be a little loose, a little less on that part to grab. That's where the pliers really do help themselves. And then down there, there's like so much extra. I don't know if you can see that, like, you know, on either end. I don't think you can. No, not the way it's focused over here. I'm gonna squeeze that over for a second, so I can bring this one up over here. I'll bring this one over here. God damn, what time is it? 9 o'clock. Let's go to like 10:30. I should be able to get at least one of them gessoed. Like the, I won't make anybody sit through this twice in a row. I think if I'll get at least that one gessoed. I'll probably do 2, because the thing is, you gesso 1, you leave them sit there for till it's, you know, you got to put it somewhere. Let the gesso dry up a little bit before you put the second coat down. Alright. Now, these 2 are fine. I think that's okay up there, so I'm going to pull it just to make sure. Pull it like to there. Pull this down. I just got like an inch or two too long, you know? And I could just have both sides be a little long, but it gets sloppy. I don't like it to be too sloppy. I'm sloppy, but I'm not that sloppy. I'm cutting the fucking tarp underneath the sheet. Ah, there we go again. No, give it to me. Give it to me. Ah, you piece of shit. Caught the tarp. Fucker. There we go. Ah. It's better than fucking doing it with Christmas wrapping paper and shit. It's 1,000 times better. Yeah. It's a good thing I don't rely on these very often when I do pick my canvases. I sort of just grab shit and I start putting them together. Like I'll just grab 2, you know what I mean? Top and bottom, and just kind of look at it. There they are. It's like, where's my fucking staples? But it was funny. We're going through Busch Gardens. We were coming out of France into Germany, maybe Land of the Dragons or something like that. And there's a little booth set up, and I'll have to look up the artist's name again. But she has a gallery, like, there, right in the middle of Busch Gardens. It's all her work. It's only her work. Going in there, and I'm like, son of a bitch, how did I get my own gallery at a fucking theme park? You know, like, I'm just grumbling to myself a little bit. And it turns out she's right fucking there working. It's like, oh, so sorry. You know, like, it's one of those, you know, insert foot here moments, definitely. That here being your mouth. If anyone's didn't catch on to what I was saying, because I didn't say it outright. So it's just like, oh man, I want a gallery of just my shit and just prints of my shit in a theme park. How do I talk to? You know? And I was saying to my wife, I said, I wonder if this is like her full-time gig. That is to say, like, if she's literally there every day. I didn't go back to check when we went back to, like, 2 days later. But, like, if, you know, if it's a full-on, like, exclusive deal where she's sitting in there 12 hours a day or whatever, you know, working on a new painting and all that, I mean, and before I sound like I'm criticizing that, I was thinking it was a fucking ideal job in my life. I'm like, who do I call? Like, seriously, who do I speak to be, quote-unquote, forced to paint 12 hours a day in a middle of a theme park with prints all over the fucking walls of my stuff that, you know, I'll sign for you and send up to the front or whatever, all the stuff that she did. I was like, I almost wanted to tell her too, because she's like, oh, I can send anything up to the front if you guys are interested. And I'm like, yeah, no, not right now. I was like, you know, I didn't want to say that, but I said I did like it. It's very colorful work. It's animals and primarily, and very, so I was like, that's something drew me in there, because I was like, dude, I'm doing that like right now all the time, it seems, anymore. But, like, I almost wanted to say, like, look, I just don't have room on my walls, because all my shit has to go there. So I'm not selling damn thing, so I have to put it somewhere. So it's either on my walls, my parents' walls, soon to be my daughter's walls when she and her boyfriend get their apartment. Well, they've got their apartment, but when they move in August, I'm like, you know, my family has a bunch of my paintings on loan right now. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't have time to put it. I have to put it somewhere, so. Like my Lorraine Cavern's paintings right up there, right now. Like I was talking about earlier. It's like you guys can't see me. I'm pointing up like you can fucking see me. I don't think you can see me in either one of those, but it's like up that way. You know, like, because I gotta put it somewhere. It's gotta go somewhere, man. By the way, it does occur to me, and feel free to call me out on it. I probably am using these pliers wrong. I probably have for a long time. I know, like, I think this nib's supposed to go, like, actually on this back end here while it pulls, because they're primarily intended to staple along the sides. I don't like the staples on the sides. Even when I buy pre-stretched, I try to find them on the back, because it's just nicer. If I don't frame it, at least I can show it. Do you know what I mean? Without seeing, like, nasty staples everywhere. And plus, like I said, it gives me that little extra leverage going around. I fucked up not doing this one after the other one, because that's what happens when I talk to you guys too much. I start fantasizing about working 12 hours a day at a theme park painting. Not kidding, I probably could jack it to that fucking thought. I won't make you guys watch that. Again, if there's a terrible, unclassy joke to be made, I will smash through that fucking wall like the Kool-Aid Man. One of my friends was talking today on Facebook how they were playing What Do You Meme? And she apparently stumbled because of it onto Two Girls in a Cup. And she had never heard of it before. And she was basically on Facebook screaming about how horrified she was of it. And her mother responded to the comment at one point with, "What is it?" And she quickly, "Mom, don't Google that." And so I replied to that comment, which was, "Devil on my left shoulder, or devil on my right shoulder says, tell her to please Google it." And the devil on my devil on my left shoulder and the devil on my right shoulder says, "Send him a link." And then I said, "I don't have an angel anymore." So as far as my best guess is that it's a meth head right now, turning tricks in the bathroom. Though I almost want to call her out, because I don't understand how you could live basically in the Delco area. And I will explain this. Not that Delco is a place where everyone should have seen Two Girls in a Cup, but at least have heard about it, because now, as I've said many times on here, I'm friends with the Preston and Steve show. But long before I got to know them, I was a listener. And Preston and Steve talked about Two Girls in a Cup probably for a year straight. It was always coming up. Anytime Steve wanted to do a quick make everybody gag thing, especially like Kathy and some of the more squeamish members of the show, Two Girls in a Cup came up. So I was kind of sitting there like, how could you live in this area in the greater Philadelphia region, not just Delco? Because Preston and Steve are pretty much the top radio show. I shouldn't say pretty much, they are. And they have been for a very long time. Top morning show. And I know that my friend listened to them. Whether she still does, I don't know. But she certainly did for a long time. I know that. So I don't know how she missed it. At least something in passing, And kids, if you're listening, don't search that. It's the most disgusting thing you'll ever see in your life. I never made it all the way through, for God's sakes. So, just letting you know. That's a tip from your Uncle Brian. Boys and girls. I just found it hilarious, though. Because now, while I have not seen my friend in a very long time in person, I still remember the way she would react to things sometimes in high school. Like when if she'd become flabbergasted by something, it was very kind of thing. I just remember I can literally hear the sound that she would make when she would get it, like I said, kind of disgustipated by something like that. So, reading it this morning, that's all I heard in my head. And so it just cracked me up. And the one downside too, though, of our trip, like I said, good side is I got a lot of great pictures that I can use for potential subjects to keep working. Downside was I'm a coaster fanatic, and we only got my kids on 2 coasters. Got them on. I got Vincent on the Loch Ness Monster, which was hilarious as he was going down that first hill. Because he just, oh my god! I honestly expected him to drop an S-bomb. I'm surprised he didn't. It actually stuns me that he didn't drop at least an S-bomb. At least an S-bomb. but he's just, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then we got his sister on, it's called Invader, the wooden roller coaster. Which, truth be told, part of me wonders if was the better thing to do or the worst thing to do by putting it on it. I don't like wooden roller coasters. I know there's some people that consider them like the authentic roller coasters or whatever. But I'm sorry. Having my teeth chatter for, 3 minutes or whatever straight, just, like, that's not fun to me. A steel coaster is a nice, smooth experience. I don't feel like I'm going to lose a filling. It's just me. Damn, do I love them, though, too. They have one there now called Griffin, and oh, God, I wanted to ride that thing. I wanted to ride it so bad. If you don't know what it is, it's one of those ones where they hang you. Like, the drop is actually more than 90 degrees, like they take you up to the top of it, and you just sort of like lean forward, and they hold you there for a second, and then it curves in, and then goes back out. Oh, God, I wanted to ride that. Like, looked terrifying. Oh, I wanted to go so bad. Love roller coasters. It's one of those things, like, people out there, if I ever won the lottery or whatever, fantasies, like, dude, painting full time and riding fucking roller coasters. That's like my whole life from now on. I would not need to do anything else in my life. That works very well there. Okay. So, last one to stretch. I don't think like I said, I've got more. But if you figure I'm doing about a painting a month at this point, on average, that's what I've been holding up to, and I think I'm a little ahead actually. That right now. This will get us through for a while, and I don't have to bore you guys much longer with this stuff. We get onto the fun bit of gessoing. Part of me's half tempted to cut it now, and just gesso, but I wants to be true to my code. And like I said, having canvases as backup is very important to me. I hope, like I said, I know there's nobody here. Alright, so only one viewer, but it's probably like the ghost viewer that always says I have. I hope this is sort of interesting and educational. Like I said, that's my goal for this channel eventually, is for people to learn stuff. I'm sitting on my scissors, aren't I? I can't find them, and I know that's where they're at. They're probably in my ass right now. Yes, they are. Alright. Again, I know I'm not the most well-polished of teachers. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go for my teaching certification. But I hope people pick up on a thing or two from here. If you ever thought about doing it yourself. Say what you will about anything else, but to me, painting is just the bee's knees. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, I'm getting a little sloppy. That's alright. Edge isn't quite clean, but that's fine. That's fine. Alright, here we go. Last test. Do I staple the fucking thing? I haven't cut it, so I get bonus points, right? You guys said I get bonus points. Alright, I said it, but it's fine. You guys owe me a new follower. Go talk to your friends. Go call your auntie in Bel Air. My wife did not find it as funny as I did when we were driving back from Maryland. And well, we were driving back from Virginia, but we're driving through Maryland, and there's a sign for Bel Air. And I was like, look, it's not that far. No wonder he took a cab. That's not the Bel Air they went to. I found it funny. I'm also a moron, so take that with a grain of salt. But it was cool though. On our way back, we delivered Wilma to Mike and Joe, and that was cool. Got to hang out with them a little bit, have some burgers. You know, I don't get to travel much to see my buddies. You know, even people that are fairly local, I don't get to see very often. So to get to hang out and see them, it's just cool. Vincent was in hog heaven because Mike, he's hosting me, so I don't know if he's on, but he he's a big gamer. You know, he's like, I think he's a casual gamer, but he's got a lot of game systems. So yeah, Vincent goes down and sees their setup, and Mike's got the Xbox One or whatever, and the PS3, PS4, which we have here, but you know, it's just like big old TV. I was joking around because I was like, look, your guys' TV is big enough that he doesn't stand right on top of it. Even though mine's not tiny. It's you'd think that I had like my son playing on like a 24-inch the way he behaves sometimes with it. I mean, he stands about a foot away from the damn thing. But I got to meet Wilma in person. Sweet dog. My kids really do crack me up with dogs, though, because they keep saying they want one. They keep saying they want one. And the first reaction they have when they meet a dog is, like that. And meanwhile, my wife and I are like, sugar puppy! Like, immediately go after the dog, like, I mean, I will still, to this day, if I see a bulldog, I scream, look at the bully! I'm sure it weirds my neighbors out. Like two of the neighbors down the street have bulldogs. One of them is Sophia's friends, and those are just a few houses down. Young couple moved in. They had their bulldog came in as a puppy, and I was just, little puppy Dougal. And the other one is Cooper. He's a little older, down the street. Now, before we knew they had a daughter Sophia's age and they would be friends, we would see Cooper hanging out front, and Cooper would sit on the stoop. And when we walk by, taking my son down to like T-ball or whatever, Cooper would waddle over to the fence and like just plop flat against the fence. Like rolls are coming out of the fence. You know what I mean? Like the bulldog rolls are just pouring out. I'd sit there and just like, go on, Vincent. 6 years old. He has no idea where he's going. Go on. I'm gonna pet the dog. I didn't leave my son to go on his own. Don't worry. Not that much of an asshole. But it was like, I might drop you off at practice and come back. Pet the dog. But again, every time we saw it, look at that bully! And I found it was Cooper. So now I do at least. Look at Cooper! And now, my neighbors keep saying, now I've never seen him down this far, but they have said that Cooper apparently gets out quite often. And they don't know how he does it, because he's an old fat dog. But she says they've had, like, guys doing construction down the street. And Cooper shows up, and then you have to take him back up, and take him back up to my neighbors. I'm trying to play vague, so I don't want to give anybody's names out. But I told them, I flat told them, because we all got together to get our back driveway, shared driveway done. And I told him, I said, by the way, you guys tell us how Cooper gets out, and I'm just giving you a fair warning. I'm like, he comes up to my house, I ain't giving him back. Yeah, just mess with him. I'm the husband there and tells him, I'll take him up to you now. Those pain in the butt. I'm like, do not tempt me. It's funny too, because like I said, they get really nervous. My kids get really nervous with dogs. But then once they get to spend like more than 3 minutes with them, they love them. Then that's the dog they want. Like my son Vincent. My friend Phil's Irish Wolfhound. He's terrified of him. Absolutely terrified of him. Now, admittedly, we pulled into Phil's house, which was up in Lake Erie, at like midnight. Vincent had been sleeping in the car for the last like 20 miles, like easily. And so, look, if I was, let's see, he was probably 9 at the time, 8 or 9. So if I was his age and I see an Irish Wolfhound barreling at me, it's like one of the first things I've seen when I wake up, and I'm in this was a farm. So there's, the light on their garage, and that's about all the light there is for, a ways around. And out comes this monster of a dog. Sure, I'd be scared of him too, I guess. But it was funny. Because again, I see it and I'm like, even I'll admit I was taken back. I knew they had a dog. I didn't know what type they'd have when we went up there. But it was funny because by the end of the next day, Vince is telling me how he wants an Irish Wolfhound. And I'm like, in our little house with no yard, you want to put a dog that fucking big? And my friend Phil's like, oh, I raised him in an apartment for those first few years or whatever. And I'm like, that's cool, dude. I'm not doing that to a dog and put it, this dog needs some space. He says they don't need a whole lot because they get exhausted very quickly, since they're so big. But it's like, dude, still, you need somewhere to let the thing gallop. And I say gallop because when he let it loose off the leash, on his own property. It's not like we were walking through a park or anything. So, the thing galloped. I joked around about putting Vincent on a saddle on the thing. It's a pity too, because Daniel ended up dying when he had went to go get fixed. Because Phil had heard that I guess it's better for big dogs to get fixed later. But something went wrong with the SPCA when they were doing it, and it's a pity. It's a beautiful dog. So the painting, that's another one I'm giving away for him to do with as he sees fit. I did a portrait of Phil and Daniel from that trip. Not knowing that Daniel had passed, I just did it because it was one of those. See, the trip was inspired. It was before the breakdown, but it was trying to prevent the breakdown. So the idea was, I had not seen my friend Phil in a very long time, or his family. And I really wanted to get that reconnection because I had been trying to connect with Bob before he died. And I couldn't. And it was one of those things where it was like, my brain was just telling me, like, dude, you need to start finding those old connections and get with some of these people because you don't know how long you got. And, so that's one of the reasons we went up there. So after the breakdown, as I'm trying to kind of resort through things, there was like a double moment sort of thing that happened. I think I described it here before, but I'll describe it again. I always intended this could be someone's first time viewing me. When I had found out about my friend Bob dying. I was working on a painting of my son riding a horse. And the reason I had begun working on that painting was because it was a very carpe diem moment. My son did not get pushed or prodded to ride the horse like he did to get Loch Ness Monster done. Most recently, we were going over the People Mover thing at Dutch Wonderland. Saw the horseback riding thing down below him. He said, "Daddy, I want to ride a horse." I was like, knowing my kids are skittish around animals, especially larger ones, if I can encourage them to conquer those fears, by all means I will. So here you had this very carpe diem type moment of conquering a bit of fear regarding large animals by wanting to ride a horse, and I said, shit, yeah. So I was very proud of him for that moment. And so I wanted to capture that when I did that painting. And I was nearly finished it when news came in that Bob had died. Now, Bob had a tattoo, and it was his life motto of Carpe Diem. So he had a tattoo on his arm that said Carpe Diem. And like I said, he said he always tried to live that way. And as I knew him, he always did try to live that way. So, now, I want to go into debate of perhaps that led him to trying the drugs that ended up killing him. That's a whole other debate. But the two things kind of became intertwined in my head. So this painting that I was working on was now permanently associated with Bob's death. So much so that I had to get it out of my house once I started painting again. I had to get rid of it because I was like, it kept trying to pull me back to places I didn't want to go. So I had to move it. Move it. Sorry, I'm trying to keep myself at least sort of in the light. And so when I'm going through these paintings and these ideas I was working on, the idea came to me that I should capture, as best I can, this moment of... Alright, this is going to be tricky because I got to get behind this camera. Alright, I'm going to crawl under here, sorry. Capture this moment of another one of my son's Carpe Diem bits, where he actually went and pet Daniel and got to know him. And put the fractured butthole away. Don't need that anymore. And that whole idea about, again, reconnecting with friends you have not seen in a long time. So here I have this painting of my friend Phil with his dog Daniel. I thought that was a good way to do it. Like I said, did not intend it, knowing that, I did not know that Daniel had died, and so now it became like okay, well now this is going to be theirs, because it did what it needed to for me. Hopefully it can do something for them. Alright. Going back again, one more time to talk about inanimate objects having a weird little life to me. This 3-inch brush of mine. Man, this bad boy been through some stuff together. I was amazed actually that it even still worked, to be honest with you. Like, that it was not completely just ruined, because I had left most of my brushes to rot for the years I did not paint. Alright, now here's another gamble. Can we get through this without gessoing? Reminds me, I didn't staple the cord to my canvas, nor did I cut the cord. I don't think so. Looks whole. You guys owe me a follower. No means of forcing this or Nobody even agreed to it. Anyway, so that's yeah. That painting had a weird little moment because it was one thing to me, and now it's something else. All right. So I have this gesso. This I prefer the clear stuff. It goes on. Obviously, you can hopefully see this. I'm not hopefully not entirely in the way. Goes on with a little bit of a white tint, but it'll clear up and just give me back that canvas color, which I do. Yeah, prefer. Which is another reason I don't like the store-bought stuff. I like to get my edges done. You know what? I'm going to take some. There's probably plenty off of here, and I'm going to take some off. This way I don't accidentally stick my leg in it. Stick my leg in it for our line. I'm hoping there's a lady looking. No. Ooh, it's a lady. No. I'm just kidding. Anyway. I like to get my edges done as best I can. I'll go over them probably like a few more times just because I'm paranoid. I try to make sure that these, go on pretty thick. Surprise, surprise. But it's like, dude, I paint so thick that I have to be careful. Oil seeps through, like it will try to get through here, that linseed oil, and it will try to damage your canvas. So if you are going to stretch canvas like this with me, try to make sure you are doing a hell of a good job. Now, this pretty much does nothing. I don't know why I do it. I got into a habit of it, and now I do it. Even though I knew it didn't do anything. People used to do it all the time in my class, college, and I used to kind of mock them. And now I just do it because I don't know why. I guess it gives me like a little sensation of what it'll be once it's finished. But I do an X. I think there's somewhere on a subconscious level where I can almost feel these brush textures in it. And this may not show up very well. I'm hoping it at least shows up in the little one because that's a little off colored. And I'm actually hoping that pops it up. But like the first coat here, I like to make sure I'm digging that sucker in. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many little cracks and crevices in a canvas that you can just miss. Especially because, again, this is going to clear. This is going to go clear. It's already starting to over here on the edge. And so, did I get it or is it dried? I can't tell. So I will, like I said, I'll re-hit this a few times. And I do only try to, just so, like I said, one canvas at a time. I will take this over. I'm actually going to move it out into the laundry room area of this basement to dry so I can get it flat against the wall somewhere. So it doesn't get any, warping or anything done. Since this one does not have a crossbar, because this is a canvas that just didn't have a crossbar designed for it, There's a little funk. It's probably from when I grabbed it out of here. Sometimes little bits of gesso will lock up together, and they dry up. It's plastic, so it's gonna make little funky waves. I get the feeling that thing's definitely going into this gesso ball at some point. I don't know if there's anything I can really do about it. If I move it too far away, then it's definitely going to drip into the canvas. That would probably be worse. I'd rather get just a little gesso on it than drip into my canvas and fuck it up. And that little one will be fine. That's going to pop over real quick. 16 by 20 fucker. Now, like I said, I've already wiped out any sign or trace of that X that I had made already on this. But like I said, I think on a subconscious level, I think to myself that I can find them, you know? Like I said, I just want to make sure that all this stuff is nice and wound in there, and then I'll go through and give it a nice little smoothing over. Get a little more on there. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think you have enough gesso. I've done 2 coats. I've done 3 coats. You know, it's just sometimes just because I feel like it's going to be something that, you know, I feel like the canvas will need it. You know what I mean? Like, I know it doesn't make any sense, but okay, how the fuck did that happen? I must have kicked it. Okay, hold on. What are you hanging on? Stuck on something. A lot of it there on there. Okay, let's find. Right. More, so we're just gonna take that one. Sorry if this is like really bad on your ears. I'm not muting it. Good enough for government work, I think. Alright. So, I had tried to loop it around there, and I'm going to loop it around my neck instead. I know that sounds crazy. Don't worry, I won't strangle myself too much. Just enough to get me excited. I mean, what? Let's go one more time around there, like that, on the back. No, that's not going to work that way. Hold on. So I'm trying to do this while I'm dangling it above. Alright, let's go around that way once. Pull it back up a little bit. Twice. Alright, can that work? One more time. Alright. Okay. Alright. Now, the trick will be to make sure I get the fuck up and take this thing off before I get all the way up. You go, Brian, how could that be a trick? And again, I refer to you that I am a moron. Our last night at Busch Gardens, I started freaking out near Germany because I couldn't find my sunglasses, and they were on my head. Like, not on my face, admittedly. Wasn't that bad, thank God. Though I've done that one before. Especially with my glasses. I don't wear my contacts. Where are my glasses at? I'm wearing them. My favorite one that I've ever done has to be with my cell phone. Where I was on the phone with my mother. And I don't remember where I was supposed to be going. I don't know if I was heading over to her house to help them with something, or to help my aunt with something, or something. I think it was like something like that. But I was running late doing it because I could not find my cell phone. As I was on the phone, on the cell phone, with my mother. Telling her how I can't get out of the house because I can't find my cell phone. That's a special kind of stupid. Do you know what I mean? That's like extra stupid. With a side of dumb. And now I know people always go, well, I've done that too. No, this happens way too often for me. Like I said, all these little quirks all got worse after I went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So, let that be a lesson to you kiddies. Don't let your job drive you fucking insane. As it did to me. And at least be smart enough to not fucking go back. Like, get something else. Anything else. Still trying to find something else. And I know people say I shouldn't badmouth my work when I'm on here or something like that, but it deserves it. And if people paid attention to what I say, they'd catch on that it really is my work's problem. That is to say, there's a lot of stuff that could easily be fixed if someone just had the balls to do it. That is, and I can't do it, despite what they always say. Like they send out these employee surveys every year, and then when somebody says, well, this sucks, and then they say, well, how do you fix it? And the employee responds back, I don't fucking know, I'm not a manager. And then they go, well, then you shouldn't complain about it. It's like, then why did you send out the fucking survey? There's some hair in there. I think it's cat's hair. There should be cat hair down here, because they're not supposed to be down here. Oh, they have gotten down here on occasion, so I guess it's just... I got cats, dude. They get every fucking where. So this is where it kind of becomes tricky, because you really do want to make sure that they don't have too much influence over the canvas, you know what I mean? So we're going to move that sucker down there a little bit, let him sit and relax a little. I'm going to undo this from my neck so I can get over to the canvases, the other canvases, and get the small one. Alright. That's coat 1. I'm coat 2. No. I'm coats 1. So stupid. Such a stupid joke. It's retarded. I'm just dumb. Just dumb. Anyway. Fuck. If anybody can't tell, I have no intention of ever having the YouTube archives of these sessions ever become monetized. Alright, back around the neck we go. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, please. There's no oxygen going in my brain. Not Gizmo. Zap. I like my gremlin. Are they ever going to do Gremlins 3 or remake it or something? They really need to. I'm not one who says Hollywood should remake everything. But dude, Gremlins is cool. And I don't think it should be remade. I think it should be they should find a way to continue it without Jurassic Worlding it, where they just do the same shit. Do you know what I mean? And I know it's hard to do because it's a pretty basic concept. But yeah, I found it funny thinking about movies that I'm surprised Hollywood hasn't decided to rape yet. Um, I was thinking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I don't remember exactly when year that came out. I mean, I could look it up easily enough, I'm sure. But here's where I got thinking about it. I thought about it at Busch Gardens the other day because we were watching Britmania. It's like their tribute to British rock and roll throughout the years. And in it they did some Beatles songs, and I don't remember if it was just on the pre-game thing or before the show or whether it was part of their show, but I think they did Twist and Shout as part of the show. I'm almost sure they did. But in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they did Twist and Shout. And it hit me that when you look at, when that movie came out, like I said, let's say 86, something like that? 85, I think? It's not entirely important, believe it or not. The thing is, the Twist and Shout had only been out for like 20 years. And, obviously it's a long time. But, to put that in the perspective that I'm saying, is roughly, if you were trying to do it now, if you were going to remake Ferris Bueller's Day Off today, first off, how the hell you could do it? Because so many people have phones where they could literally just, their parents could just go, "Where is so and so?" and boom, there they are. I know where my son is all the time, because he's on my plan, and so I just bleep. Anyway. So the thing is, if they were to try to find a way to do that, to pick a song a la Twist and Shout, they'd be looking at stuff like Smashing Pumpkins today. Or, some Backstreet Boys or something, something along those lines that it's like, wow, man, fuck, I'm old. I'm the dad now in that movie. I'm the idiot, twisting in his office as his son is. I never got it clear. Were they trying to imply that he was actually singing it or just lip syncing that one? Because they behaved as if he was everybody in the crowd was behaving as if he was supposed to be the one singing it, but it was clearly the Beatles' version of it. It's clearly Lennon singing. It's just as clear as it was that God damn it, this is gonna bug me. Donka Shane was fuck, who was it? Come on, someone tell me. Who's there? Anybody? Come on, someone's gotta be there. At this point, dude, I've been running for 2 hours now. Someone's had to see. Fuck. Mr. Showbiz, wasn't it? Fuck. My brain's farting out like crazy again. I'm not happy with the fact that I have to go to work tomorrow. My life of hell starts over again tomorrow. But whatever. Alright. Like I said, oh shit. I didn't want to do that one. Touch that up again. Alright. I basically have to wait for these fuckers to get a little bit of the drying done. And it's about time to go upstairs and give my children their kiss goodnight. So I'm just going to let these sit. Well, no, I should move them. Let's get them moved. We'll get ready to go to the other one. See, that's the thing. I mean, they're now at the point. They're in a place where they can be popped around a little bit. Alright, just trying to make sure I can get this right. Don't drop it on there. How the fuck did I do this? Alright, okay, like that. There we go. Alright, I'm just gonna move these out of the way. I'm still here. I'm not trying to hit the right back thing. That probably sounded like hell in you guys' ears, but. Two hands. Stretchers. You guys still hear me okay? Alright, looks like it's loud enough. Just as a reminder, when you're putting your canvases away, across the stretchers. Oh, go like that. There you go. Alright? See, I can put them like that, and when they're dried, and nothing will damage them. And I can put them this way too. Same way. They won't damage each other. Because, I guess so. As long as you've got wood on wood, you're cool. If it's like this, you ain't cool. You picking up what I'm putting down? I hope everybody gets this, and I hope you can hear me. That's just like, that's finished paintings, or as you're stretching them. Like, you don't want dimples. You know, they're cute on a girl. They're cute on a baby. You don't fucking want them on your canvas. I'm trying to make some space so I can actually use all these. Like, get them all done tonight. Like that. Just like that. Drawing space. Alright. These are bobbing. Alright, I gotta be careful again with this fucking. How'd that get around there again? That's what knocked it down last time. Alright. I know, this part's always bad. I apologize. I always apologize. Sometimes just sorry for being me. I was like one of the bit of advice to Luke Cage. I forget which character was said it, but they were talking about Rosario Dawson was mad at him, whatever, or he thought thought she was, and she was, but he says, whatever it is, tell her you're sorry. That woman is too fine to ever be wrong. I think of my wife that way too. Felt bad for her. She was dealing with a kidney stone last night. She passed it today. Thank God. Just sort of popped up out of nowhere and just hit her hard. And these fuckers are bitches. I hate those. I've been fighting one for a while now. Or multiples. I don't know. They're pretty common in my family, so. I felt bad for my son because he drinks a lot of milk. And he's such a finicky eater, so, you know, and drinker. That we just, I said I'm just concerned when he gets older. He doesn't drink enough water as is. I mean, we try to force it down his throat as much as we can. But on top of that, all the calcium he drinks from the milk that he drinks constantly. That's going to be a problem for him in his future. I'm going to try to get these done. I'll run upstairs and give the kids kisses. And then swap these out, I think, back to the other two. They should be near skinning. By that point. Let's get that X in there. Again, I know it doesn't do anything, but I like to have it. It's a comforting thing. Yeah, especially because his mother's been so prone to him now, too. It's like, dude, when it was just the Coates males, you know, that was one thing. Now that it's on your mother's side, too, now you're fucked. I didn't say it to him quite like that today, but I had to tell him that, dude, you are in trouble in the future if you don't start widening your fluid intake. Start eating shit that isn't just, you know, carbs and calcium. We were joking around that he's probably not going to be much of a boozer when he gets older because he doesn't. We were just thinking about all the stuff he doesn't like the taste of. And it's like, dude, he's not even going to touch beer. Like, he's going to smell beer. And he's going to go, fuck no. Because he can't be influenced. Like, his eating habits do not get changed. Nothing we've done can shift them. And nothing I've seen his friends do can shift it. You know, they've tried to get him to do stuff. Yeah, ain't nothing. We tried to take him to Japanese when we were out. When we were down in Williamsburg. Went to a really great Japanese restaurant. Sushiya. And we figured we'd try a hibachi because this way the kids see it right in front of them, you know, since it's going to be like a different type of experience for them food-wise. I was like, well, this maybe will help it. Yeah. And it did not. Even as I tried to explain to them that by the time they're done cooking it, you know, I'm going to try to go one more over if I can. This is not going to go well. I'm going to pull in closer because now I am actually strangling myself. Yeah, by the time they're done with their ginger sauce and everything that they use, it's like it really does sort of taste like the way that Chinese chicken's prepared. You know, he does eat Chinese food to a degree. That is that he will eat chicken lo mein with no vegetables. So I was trying to say, like, dude, this literally tastes just like that chicken. You know, almost indiscernible. But I guess because I said it's almost, that he mentally says he could discern it because he didn't touch it. I felt so bad. Thank God that the cook was pretty understanding. Um, he actually was from Upper Darby, which is kind of funny. So we were like, you know, here we travel to Williamsburg, Virginia to meet somebody from Upper Darby. He was really cool though. He did stuff. I mean, I've been to a couple of good, nice hibachi places, not hibachis. You know, not the chains, not the Benihanas or whatever, and that shit. I don't go to those. Um, but like these, like real small mom and pop Japanese places, hibachi places, I love. Um, and But he did stuff there that, I mean, I've seen the volcano. I've never seen it actually blow up with the sauces. Okay, so he had it actually, I mean, spitting the sauce out. I was like, dude, I don't even understand what's happening there. That was cool. And before he did that, he did the normal where it's steam, blows up the big thing of fire and it starts steaming. And then he's had it be a choo-choo train, so he's banging the utensils or whatever. I can't even think of the word utensils. For God's sakes. You know, um, banging the spatula and stuff. So it made a choo-choo sound. That's pretty cool. And then he goes, like I said, then he goes, "Now ready? Volcano's about to blow up," and it's like, "There's the lava." And I was like, "Holy shit! I've never seen it. I've always seen the fire. I've never seen somebody do that with the sauce." It was really cool though. Excellent chef. Like I said, we're talking about Philly area and stuff. His mom and dad are now, I believe, in Wayne. That's what he said. So, yeah, because Heather actually said that she works out there too. So it was like kind of cool. Very. I thought that would help too. You know, they hear us talking about our neighborhood. That might get fit him to eat, but nope. We literally had to leave the restaurant and pull into the McDonald's, which is in the same shopping center, just to get him some chicken nuggets because he was starving. He hadn't eaten. And if anybody hears this, sees this on YouTube or whatever in the archives, or if you want to comment right now, and you're gonna say like, dude, you just starve the kid till he eats, kind of thing, or whatever. If you're one of those people, I will tell you, we tried that a few years ago with him. And when I tell you he will not adapt, he will not adapt. He starved himself from dinner, at least. I mean, we would say no snacks afterwards or whatever if you don't eat. Well, he would not eat dinner for, it was almost a full week. And no snacks afterwards. He'd start like gorging himself after school on breads and whatnot when it was his grandmother watching him, just so that he could make it through the night. He's like the Borg. He adapts to making sure he doesn't have to adapt food-wise. All right. So I was going to try to finish both, but it's after 10. So I'm going to run upstairs. It might be right back, and I'll be right back shortly. Let me do this. Pull this up again. Alrighty, just about back to where we need to be. Just checking to see. Alright. So we're back to... You guys want to see that one... Wait. Okay, do see both. Okay. Alright. We still have the edges, don't we, on this one? Did we get them both? No, we got them all, didn't we? Okay, so we just got this little bad guy. That's right. Alright. Oh, Jesus. My apologies, I didn't even notice that. I guess when the other one hit the fan, I focused so hard on that, I didn't even notice. Told you, I'm trying a little different things here and going a little side to side on stuff tonight to try to... Like I said, it occurred to me, literally as we were driving down to Virginia. Oh, I'll tell you that story too. I haven't told that one yet regarding the Skyline Drive. But before we got down to the Skyline Drive, I said to my wife, I said, you know, when we go home, I don't have anything ready to work with. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I have 2 canvases. I said, the one is supposed to be a summer scene, and I don't have what I would say is a good summer scene yet. As to say, I don't have really a kids playing in the pool thing or a, nice beach shot or something like that, boardwalk, something, nothing. I got nothing good. I went looking through old summer photos and stuff, and I don't have anything that I feel is exactly what I want to work with. You know what I mean? So I was a little bummed. I was like, and the only other canvas I have is, I said, my second version will be for the second version of St. Michael Defeating the Devil. I said, so those are the only 2 canvases I have ready to go. And I was like, I mean, I guess they'll work. And I was like, the only other option I have would be to start stretching. And I was like, I don't know whether, so if everything works okay, hoping that I'd be able to stream from the hotel, I said, maybe I'll take an extra day off and I'll run like a rerun or something. And I'll stretch canvas. And then, while we were in Virginia, I got a message from my friend Jeff, who said he wanted to commission me for the one that we'd been talking about for a while now. And he said, dude, we haven't heard back on this in a while. Just everything all right? And I said, oh shit, yeah. And I was like, dude, I just got so focused on that Goya study. I said I couldn't think of anything else. I literally, all my free time was spent thinking about that painting, and it really was. I was at work, in downtime. Not to be crude, but I always am crude. I was sitting on the toilet sometimes. It was like, okay, what if I did this to that painting? What if I did that? So, literally, like I said, all my free time was directed to that painting, trying to figure out how to finish it and get it done before I left for vacation. So, we were talking back and forth, and I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe that's what got me to decide I'll do this, because, again, this channel, my intention is to make it an art instruction channel. And to do things that maybe you don't do, you wouldn't have gotten out of something like Bob Ross or whatever. Like, I don't think he ever had an episode about stretching canvas. Let's teach you how to stretch canvas. It's not that hard, but, it is, there's little tricks to it. And, again, I have a mental belief of what you should kind of be thinking about when it comes to stretching canvases. Just the way you should kind of look at it to help you along. As cuckoo as I am, I don't believe that, like I said, I don't believe that they're their own, living entity or anything like that. But by doing this, I'm putting a little bit of a spirituality into them. in my head, at least. So it makes it so that now these are my canvases. That's why I like it. You know? Pre-bought canvases are somebody else's canvases in my head. I can still work with them sometimes. You know? It's like a like a movie director who's writes too. Do you know what I mean? Like, sure, he can direct his own stuff, yeah, or sure, he can direct somebody else's stuff, but if he has that extra level of control for writing and directing, they feel better about it. Same thing. Where did I get that one from? I don't know where I got that lump from. Now, as I was saying, Skyline Drive. This is a fun story. Now, my wife and I had intended for our first day down Virginia. We were leaving here, you know, relatively early. I think we tried to get out of here by, 9 o'clock or so, something like that. And we figured we wanted to hit the Skyline Drive, Luray Caverns, and Dinosaur Land on our first day. And then we had a hotel reserved in Luray, and then Luray, we would leave Luray. I should say we want to do the first half of the Skyline Drive. Then finish the second half of the Skyline Drive on our way to our hotel for the next day. We did the first half of the Skyline Drive. Now, my brain, for whatever reason, again, it's screwy, put Dinosaur Land near Luray. It's actually at the start of the Skyline Drive. And I screwed that up. So we had to backtrack a little bit. So we did the first half of the Skyline Drive, and then we intended to go to Dinosaur Land. But when we got off the Skyline Drive, my car was making sounds as we were hitting the brakes. Not only that, it was making them after we'd let go of the brakes, which I found very fucking weird. Right? And it was grindy, it was chunky, and I'm like, alright, we aren't driving any farther. So we're in Front Royal, Virginia, and I'm like, I need to see where the fuck this, the sound's coming from. And we had driven from the midpoint of the Skyline Drive back up to Front Royal on this grindy sound thing, and I was like, and it was getting worse, and it was getting worse, getting worse. If you're even sort of smart about cars, which I am not, you've probably guessed it's the brakes and the rotors. We're ground out, and that's exactly what it was. Well, it wasn't even the brakes, I shouldn't say. It was a brake, which is what weirded me out. My driver's side brake, the pad was gone, and it was grinding into the rotor, there were actual grind marks in the rotor. The passenger side looked okay. It was still smooth on the rotor. There was still a little pad on there. Yeah, it was low, admittedly. But the fact that the driver's side went completely to shit was like, dude, what the fuck happened here? I was like, are they misaligned? Is it something? Yeah. And the guy never really gave me an answer on it. Thank God. But we were sitting there. We're in a parking lot of a Coldwell banker, real estate agent or whatever. Thankfully, I guess they were closed. I didn't think we were coming in to get a job or get a house or anything. But frantically trying to find someone that can do brakes on a Saturday. This is now like 3, 4 o'clock, somewhere around there, I think. All right. And we're like, we can't, we're not near Luray. We're still like a, 35, 40 minute drive away from Luray, even if we don't do the Skyline Drive. I'm like, we can't stay here, we have a hotel. It's paid for. It's done. So we found a Jiffy Lube. Thank God they do brakes now, and they got the guy's like, it'd be about an hour, hour and a half. So we went and got lunch. I guess dinner. I guess it was lunch for us that day. Um, and so we got to do dinosaur. We got the dinosaur land like maybe an hour before they closed. So we did not get to do Luray that same day. So I said, all right, well, I guess we're doing Luray in the morning and doing the rest of the Skyline Drive in the afternoon. On the drive there, and we'll just pull into our main hotel for the rest of the week a little late. Which is what ended up happening. But it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Here I had a pretty small budget to work with already, and I had to put out like $350 for brakes. New brakes and new rotors. So that was fun. And I was just thinking to myself, thank God I was smart enough to say, we're not going another step till I can, and can find somebody, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm on the Skyline Drive and that brake fails entirely because the rotors go and the brake pads go. We're going, we're on one of them bends. So, super dad moment, I guess. I'm a moron for not checking it before we left. See, every time I tell you I'm a moron. And, but at least, I didn't get us killed. I'll mute it for a second and switch these out. Alright, I think to make it a little easier on us, and I know this sounds not as good as it was, but at least you don't have to hear me prattling on. I think I can adjust it a little bit. I'm not sure if this adjusts the speakers. I guess it does. Doesn't really adjust the microphone. I'm going to just put this over here. And it seems to still pick me up pretty good. Certainly no worse than my other mic does. So I'm going to work off of that because I'm tired of chasing that cord. Good thing is, ready? Listen to this for a second. I want you guys to hear it. That's the best spot. That's terrible. You hear that? It's snare a little better, like it's got a little pop to it. That's the better point. see, if you've been watching since the beginning, which no one has been, so don't worry, I don't feel bad. Our wrinkles are gone. I mean, not here. That's so old. But it's smoothed out, you know. But there's good texture on here. And I'm going to put this one on a little thick. Because honestly, I'm getting tired. It has been a very long week. And I want to get this canvas especially done. And get up to bed. So I'm probably not going to finish all of these tonight. I might try to wrap these two up. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm just going to do this thick. And it's basically going to be like a really big coat, you know? It ought to be more than enough. I know my wife has clothes upstairs waiting for me to put away. Because she's been doing laundry since we came back. Like I said, she's been fighting her kidney stone, but she's still doing housework and stuff. As she is prone to do. My lady is a beast. Best of ways, I really do. When my wife was in labor with my son, the nurses kept coming in and checking on her because on their monitors for the contractions, my wife should have been screaming at them. You know, give me a drop or something. You know, like they come in. Are you feeling okay, sweetie? Yeah, I'm okay. A little pressure, you know. That's all. Like, are you sure you're okay, sweetie? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, like it's you know, it hurts a little, but it's nothing unbearable. And they're like, are you sure? It just kept like hammering her because they were like, you should be crying. At the way these are spiking, you should be crying right now. Just no. And really with Vincent, it was like a couple pushes and he was done. It's like, boop, out he comes. Sophia was a little more, as I recall. But that's just her nature, I think. She had to be a little more, you know? You ever get to meet my little fire plug. Many times. She's 50 pounds of attitude in a 5-pound bag. Sometimes it pisses me off. I won't lie. We had an incident the other night. Now we went back to Busch Gardens with the intention to ride Verbolten and that's what my wife and I wanted to do. And we figured the kids were big enough to ride it, you know, and they had ridden, you know, Vincent rode too, but Sophie had ridden that wooden coaster. And we thought okay, we'll get it done. And we also wanted to ride that Battle for Ire. It's I think a relatively new ride. It's like a virtual reality thing. Because we had ridden it the first day we went to Busch Gardens. But mine was screwed up, and I couldn't see the virtual reality bit of it. There was double vision going on, like it was like not lined up right in my viewfinder, and nothing I could do could correct it. So I was like, dude, I missed out on the ride. Like, so the wife said, all right, well, we'll come back. You know, we're gonna come back. Because the rain came our first day and basically killed all the rides. You know. So we said, all right, well, we'll come back and we'll do it again. So that's what we got that one done. And Sophia also wanted a henna tattoo, which we couldn't get because of the rain, because they said it won't last if it's in the rain. And so we came back to get a henna tattoo. Now, because we went back, we ate there. And dinner there was $70 and some change. Dinner the night before at a nice little Italian restaurant had been like $80. So for $80, I got a nice Italian meal, a very nice waiter. You know, we had a really nice time there. Nice little mom and pop joint. And for $70, I got a fast food burger and an Angry Orchard. You know, my son got chicken fingers. Sophia got a burger as well, I believe. So, now the kids did not get on Verboten. They both panicked on it before we got there. So we did not get to ride any of the other roller coasters. And so I basically looked at it as the fact that we spent roughly $90. It was like 20 for a henna tattoo. Spent $90 for her to get a henna tattoo. Yeah, tickets we had a bounce pass thing, so whatever, I didn't care about that. But the fact that we had to, you know, eat something that I probably could have gotten at Ruby's Diner or something for $30. We spent 70 on. And I was not a thrilled camper, certainly. But we got through the rest of it. We went and saw their night show or whatever, which was not my cup of tea. Their Sparks thing or whatever is like a techno rave thing. And as I commented, I had not taken enough E that night to deal with that. It was bad. Anyway, I kind of questioned how you become a Sparks dancer at Busch Gardens. Do you like go in there in the interview and say like, I went to Shampoo for and danced there for 4 hours and didn't get bored. And it's like, oh, you got the job then. Anyway, because I went to Shampoo once and I was going out of my mind out of boredom. Anyhow, so, you know, whatever. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, well, Sophia got her thing. The kids seem to enjoy the Sparks thing. Alright, we're fine. Whatever. On our way home, my wife sees a little comic online. It says Cat in Training. And it says, no, Marvin, or whatever the hell the cat's name was. You only knock over the coffee cup, not the whole pot. You know, you're a lovable, miscreant, but not a monster or something like that. And now, she described it to me. And I was like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, funny. And then my son said, what? And so, my wife describes it again, to the back seat. But Sophia wasn't listening or whatever, so she says, what? And my wife says, I'm not describing it again. Here, just look at it. And so she sends her phone back, and Sophia looks at it. And Sophia looks at it, she laughs, and then she tells my wife to describe it to her again. Because she described it for Vincent. And I said, and she says, no, I'm not doing it. And she's giving all sorts of trouble, and then she starts crying in the back like she's a 2-year-old or something. And so, at this point, I think I've mentioned this before. The way my depression tends to rear its ugly head is whatever negativity I can associate together gets associated together. And so hear that little bit of, dude, we spent $90 to get a henna tattoo for Sophia. Popped its head back in because now it's Sophia who's crying and throwing a temper tantrum because her mother won't describe a comic she just saw, that Sophia just saw. So my, temper starts to flare up a little bit. And she keeps going, and she keeps going, and she's making ridiculous demands that, her mother is never to describe anything to Vincent ever again. Little things like that. And she keeps crying and screaming, "Oh, Mommy, read it to me again!" Blah, blah. And she's freaking the F out about this, even though she saw the comic. I have to reiterate that. She looked at the actual picture that she's now telling her mother to describe. Something Vincent did not get to see, by the way. And she won't balance that out. And so, my wife told me to ignore her. I unfortunately could not because, again, the ugly little beast in my head starts, talking to me like, you just spent all this money just to get her a goddamn henna tattoo, and now she's freaking out about a stupid comic? Like, oh, hell no. That's disrespectful, And, so I can't let it alone. And I just start screaming in the car, and I did tell her, like, look, we spent all this money just so you could go back there. We could have gotten the same food, basically, anywhere else for significantly cheaper. You guys didn't ride the rides for us, you wouldn't give us that concession, I'm like, you're no place to bargain for anything at this point. And you're trying to tell us what the fucking, that's definitely going off. And it's not my prouder moment. I'm not trying to say I'm proud about this moment. But it's certainly a Sophia thing. And unfortunately, like I said, it was just because we were already at this bad little moment in my head, it got worse. Alright. It's late. As far as I'm concerned here, I have 2 canvases now. The other 2, I gotta do more on, but they can wait. What I might decide to do is I might take my son down to karate tomorrow, come home, let him do his practice there. I'll come home, and I'll finish up the other 2. And, this way they'll all be done, but I won't make you guys sit there and watch this anymore. I hope if you guys see it, if somebody looks at it, like I said, if it's not here on YouTube, in the archives, somebody finds my channel, 10 years from now, whatever, I don't care. Art history is looking at this. I hope somebody got something out of this. I think it's important to stretch your own canvases. I really do. So, not much more to say about it than that. We're going to let this dry. Hopefully tomorrow night we are starting the new painting. If I can't get everything set up how I need it to be tomorrow, because there's going to be some cord running, because I had to run the cord back into here to make this work tonight. I have the video I shot that I tried to upload previously. I can now upload because I'm on my own internet connection. So I'll get that up and running. It's just a drawing of a water bottle. It's nothing spectacular, but it might buy me some time to get me ready for tomorrow night. Do you know what I mean? Because again, I have to put together 2 buildings that are not next to each other, so I have to kind of plan that out ahead of time to make this work on this canvas. And so I think that's what we're going to call it for now. Like I said, hopefully I can do this stuff. I'm going to try to actually leave my computer up. Like, not this one, but my Mac, which I can access from my work. And maybe try to manipulate some stuff together. It's going to be really difficult to do, because it'd be through my phone, and it's not ideal. But, yeah, we'll see what we can get. And so, again, I hope somebody learned something. You know, I'm just going to let these two sit here and dry out like this. And then, wash my brush. So, that will be all for tonight. I don't intend to really clean this up until tomorrow morning. If anybody's wondering, these are not the same painting pants I normally wear. These are literally just gessoing pants, so they have their little sorts of only gesso stands. I at least recommend to have two. You know, like I said, gesso and for painting. And that will be all. Peace out. I will see you tomorrow, one way or the other.